Hi, this is Susan Shagru, and this is my presentation on area and perimeter. Throughout the lesson, I tried to find multiple ways for children to show what they know and use the principles of universal design for learning. So let's learn about it. Here is the lesson plan. I am using the Virginia Department of Education Standards for Learning for 5th grade. The standard states, solve practical problems involving area and perimeter and volume in standard units of measure, and differentiate among perimeter, area, and volume, and identify whether the application of the concept of perimeter, area, or volume is appropriate for a given situation. For the purpose of this lesson, we will focus on area and perimeter only. Here is where we start our lesson linking to the students' background knowledge. The students write on a whiteboard what they know about area and perimeter, using pictures, numbers, or words. By giving the students a choice, we are using the principles of universal design for learning, differentiating ways students can express what they know. Then the students turn and talk with a shoulder partner, discussing real-world examples. This stimulates interest in the material in the lesson. There is also a visual representation and a description for the students to refer to on the slide. This is the point in the lesson where we are engaging and educating. The PowerPoint starts with the definitions of perimeter and area on this slide and the next one. We are using universal design for learning by presenting the information in different ways. The definition is written in word form, and a real-life example is given as well. This is the offline product that was developed for this lesson. It is an area and perimeter sort. The purpose was to introduce practice into the lesson. Students with intellectual and learning disabilities benefit from additional practice of new material. Real-world examples are used to aid in the memorization. The forms were also designed for a student with a visual impairment. The font is large, the borders are dark and bold, and the words area and perimeter are color-coded to differentiate between them. The examples were separated by dark lines to aid the student when cutting them out. The online product developed for this lesson is a game of concentration. The tiles are tapped to reveal a real-world description of area and perimeter. The student will tap 2 tiles and try to get a match. The game will be played on the smartboard with the class being split into 2 teams. The tiles, when tapped, reveal a number in the bottom corner. The tiles match will have the same number. This was done to assist students who may have difficulty making the matches. The game helps to stimulate interest in learning the vocabulary. Now that the students understand the difference between area and perimeter, they will learn how to calculate them. Here we have the definition of perimeter in words, examples of how to calculate it in numbers, formula, and a visual. The calculator at the top of the page cues the students that they may use a calculator here. This is helpful for students with learning and intellectual disabilities, so they can focus on learning the formulas and not worrying about the computations. After the last slide gave us multiple ways of learning how to find a perimeter of a square or rectangle, this slide actually helps the students to practice. They're given 2 examples, and you can tap on the square or the rectangle and it will reveal the correct answer, which also generates interest. Now that we learned to calculate perimeter, we're going to learn how to calculate area. On the screen you will see that we have again listed the sentence form, the number form, and the formula along with a visual. There is also a helpful reminder rhyme, area, squarea, to remind children that area is always squared. Now that the students have learned how to calculate area, we will practice calculating it. There is a formula reminder for students with learning or intellectual disabilities to refer to at the bottom of the slide. Students can volunteer to come forward and touch the shape to reveal the answer. This is a resource sheet which is helpful for all students, including students with disabilities. The sheet presents the content in another way. The perimeter is colored blue to draw attention to it, and the formulas are written on the side. This resource will be helpful during rotations for students with disabilities to refer to. It also incorporates universal design for learning, as it is showing the material in a different format, and it is something that all students benefit from. Now we're on to our math rotations. The students have a choice here. They can choose 2 out of the 3 activities. They're doing this with a partner, so there's supports there for students with disabilities. And they also have the choice of working with manipulatives, which is the Cheez-Its, or a PowerPoint activity, which was found online, which enables them to put tiles in place and the numbers are calculated for area and perimeter, or to play a area and perimeter game, which the link to the rules are on their Google Classroom site. The game is actually rolling the dice and taking the 2 numbers and determining the area and perimeter. This is the PowerPoint game that is in the lesson during our rotations. I found this online and felt like it was a great additional resource for children with learning disabilities. What's really neat about this is as you add the tiles, the area and perimeter change above, so it's a visual for them to be able to see how each changes as a tile is placed. Here's the exit ticket. The exit ticket is the assessment on the day's lesson to see how the students have been able to learn and use the concepts. The exit ticket has 2 word problems and 1 problem where they have to determine the perimeter and area of a shape. The exit ticket is also listed on the Google Classroom, where students can type in their answers in the Google Classroom, so they have a choice of how they are going to show what they know. They can also write it on a post-it and put it in the classroom parking garage. I wanted to give the students a lot of choice in this portion of the lesson. It's basically what they're going to do is bring in homework. The homework can be real-world examples, like a picture frame, or they could draw it. They could bring in an actual picture of something, and they can also, if they choose to, they can go on to Padlet and they can upload a picture or something off the web to show what they know and that they understand the difference between area and perimeter. I think this makes it kind of fun and engaging, and the students learn through seeing all this visual representation.